Now, with Brian Wilson live in Charlotte, this is Common Sense coverage of the Democratic National Convention with Brian and Brian, sponsored by the Media Research Center. 105.9 FM and AM 630. WMAL.
7:07 on WMAL. Happy Tuesday to you. Back to work, back to school as we get ready for the election just about 2 months away. Brian Eben here in Washington, D.C. Brian Wilson down in Charlotte, North Carolina for the Democratic National Convention. Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
Good morning to you, Mr. Neiman.
We are pleased to have Anita Bonds on the line. She is the chairman of the D.C. Democratic State Committee. Anita, how are you?
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing very well. Let me first start off. What do you hope to accomplish in these next 3 days with the DNC?
Well, of course, we're here to nominate, place in nomination the name again for re-election, Barack Obama for president and Joseph Biden for vice president of the United States. And from that nomination, we want to move forward and win this campaign.
Anita, anytime you run a campaign and you do a big convention, basically you're not preaching to the people that are inside the hall. You're trying to preach to people outside the hall who have perhaps not made up their mind. So at the final analysis, when all is said and done, what is it the Democrats hope will be left in the minds of those voters who have not yet made up their mind?
Well, I mean, a couple of things that are very important to us. One, that America, our country, is better off today than it was, 4 years ago, 6 years ago. And the reason it's better is because the Democrats have been in charge. The Democrats have been making things happen, improving the lives of the families in America.
And I know that's your goal, but you've seen the polls that suggest that perhaps many Americans don't feel that way right now.
It's sometimes hard to feel the way that, I guess, it's a lot about perception. In our area, we can speak about the District of Columbia. As you well know, the unemployment has dropped. That's a very good sign, and that's a sign that things are improving. Our region has not suffered the way other parts of the country have suffered, but we still have people who need things, and our government is solvent, and our government is working.
We're talking with Anita Bonds. She's the chairman of the D.C. Democratic State Committee. I heard you say that the country is better off than it was 4 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago, and it's because of the Democrats. But look, if you look at the numbers, unemployment is certainly up, income is down, housing values down, the debt is up $5 trillion, gas prices are up. So, you say it's better off 4 years ago, but the economic data doesn't necessarily suggest that.
Well, we live in a global economy, and as such, we are affected by what happens in Europe, what happens in other places. Our entire country is, and so it will take time for us to realize that things are really better. But if you remember, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, there were thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that were unemployed, losing their jobs. At least now, jobs are coming back online. Jobs are increasing. And you have to have a job to feel worth something in America. We are a dynamic society. We work all the time, and that's how we equate our value in the world, and jobs are coming back, and we think as Democrats that's a very good sign, a very positive sign.
Anita, what about the issue that's been raised by some? Of course, very important to the Democratic Party are labor unions. They've always been supportive of the Democratic Party, and yet the convention is being held in a town that is a non-union town and a right-to-work state.
Well, that's very true. And, one of the purposes of being in North Carolina is to help shore up the many voters in this area who made the commitment to the Democratic Party 4 years ago. And that was one of the primary reasons why the convention is being held here. And it's to help the economy here. You know, North Carolina was one of the states that was, you know, in need of some infusion. And whenever you have a convention, the area where your convention is held always benefits economically.
Anita, do you think the president is running on his record right now, or is he running on, hey, you know, Mitt Romney will be bad for the country? Is he running more negative than he is on a positive record? And can you point to what you think the president should be running on?
Well, the president is running on his record, but the president is also seizing the opportunities on the mistakes that the Republicans are making as they campaign to capture the White House. I think that the president, you're going to see, once we are through this campaign, you know, starting actually today when our convention opens, I think you're going to see and hear more about what has been accomplished and what we will be able to do in the future. I think you're going to hear a lot about, you know, the small things that have had value in individuals' lives. We haven't reached everyone. We haven't been able to accomplish all that we sought out to accomplish, but a heck of a lot has been done,
right,
and more is on the horizon. We're having to rebuild the society in America, you know, against the backdrop of what is occurring internationally, and that is not an easy feat for anyone. I mean, you see nations in other parts of the world, you know, going through extreme difficulty.
Right. Well,
collapsing.
Extreme difficulty here in this country as well right now for a lot of people who are out of job. Let me ask you a final question. I know Mayor Gray, Vincent Gray, is heading up the city's delegation, and he's going to preside over all the meetings in Charlotte. Considering his legal, political problems right now, is he the right man to do that?
Well, you know, that's interesting, the way you put it. Is he the right man? Well, he is the mayor/governor.
Right.
And so to that end, this is his task, and he's going to do a great job. As you know, the mayor has not been indicted. There's a cloud yet, but there's nothing there yet, and he can serve in this capacity.
All right. Anita Bonds, chairman of the D.C. Democratic State Committee. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Anita.
All right. Thanks very much. All right. Bye-bye.
7:15. Get your reaction to this and also talk a little bit about what's going down in Charlotte with Wilson.